Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope that everybody had a great Passover vacation and a great holiday. It's great to be back with you again, and we're looking forward to completing the next few weeks. Will bring us to the close of this program, and I'm really excited about some of the topics we have to cover over the next few weeks. I think you'll find them to be interesting and enjoyable, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. This week, we're going to talk about keeping your parent community connected. We all have challenges dealing with parents, dealing with members of our extended community. We're going to take a look at some technology tools that we can use to help this happen a little bit more successfully. Some of these tools we've talked about and we've touched on in past lessons, and others that I'll show you are new to you as well. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, this week we're going to be talking about communication. We have no problem usually communicating with the students who are sitting in our classroom every week. We see them regularly. We have an opportunity to learn with them and to interact with them on a regular basis. However, we all know from our own past experiences that the communication process doesn't really end with what happens in the classroom. Ideally, we want the learning process, we want the learning experience to continue beyond our classroom activities and beyond the classroom time, especially for those of us who only see our students 1 to 2 days a week. This outside of class investment of time and investment of interest is very important to the success of our programs. So how do we make this happen? How do we make sure that our extended school community is involved? Remember, when the students come home and they talk about what they learned in your classes, when they do their homework, when they do their projects, who's there to help them? It's the parents. And communication, if we want the parents to be our advocates, our helpers, our partners, communication is the key to making that happen. Involved parents equal happy parents. And we can probably all share different personal stories about our parental interaction, but most parents like to be involved and like to know what's happening within their students' education. The caveat is, the hitch is that the parents want to be involved, but without having to invest too much time and effort to make that happen. It's funny because we give our students certain expectations and certain assignments that we want them to do, and we try to teach them responsibility. And I have to say, as a parent myself, and I'm sure many of you are parents as well, that sometimes those lessons don't always transfer over to the parents. The parents want to know what's happening. They want to be involved. They want to be part of the process, but they're not willing to overextend themselves. So knowing that from the beginning, we have to try to make the process of communication and of parental involvement as easy as possible, because that's really what's going to keep them happy. And remember, again, if you're only meeting your students a couple of times a week, you want your parents to be involved in the process. You want them to be supporting your efforts. And I know this is challenging at times, but the more support you can get from the parental community back home, the more successful you'll be in the classroom, because the students will be more invested in what you're teaching them. So why involve the parents? Again, just a couple of ideas. First of all, parental support we know will provide us with support outside of the classroom. When you're assigning homeworks or projects or whatever, if the parents know what's going on and have a vested interest in helping their students, their children, the quality and the time spent will just improve exponentially. Number two, parental involvement promotes equal expectations across the board. Children are children, and depending on what age you teach, sometimes expectations can get lost. You'll assign one thing in class, and the parent will ask the student, "Oh, did you get any homework today? Do you have any projects to work on?" And the student will, of course, say, "No, we didn't. We have no homework." And we spoke about this earlier in our course together. But it's very easy for students to kind of dismiss what you gave them, and if there's nothing at home that's reinforcing this process, if the parents don't know what's happening, well, then you have a problem. So involving the parents, if they know what's happening, if they have the same expectations you have, then our shot at success goes up considerably. Involving the parents brings new insights to needs and styles of the individual students. One thing about most parents, and interested to hear your opinions, whether you agree or disagree, but parents are their own children's best advocates. If a student has a problem, if a student is unhappy, the parent is usually going to let you know. It would be nice if they let us know when they were also very happy, but we know that when there is a problem, when they have an issue, the parents are going to are going to let us know very quickly. Now, having continued parental involvement, we know that if there is an issue, if there is a learning issue or a behavioral issue or something else going on with a specific student, that parental involvement will only help you, because the more we know going into the classroom, the better we can teach our students. Um, One nice thing, especially for those of you teaching Judaic studies, a lot of parents really that I've worked with enjoy the educational process as well. Some of the parents are not uh, so knowledgeable themselves in some of the Judaic materials. And believe it or not, when you're teaching your students in the classroom, a lot of that knowledge is going on to the parents. I've gotten a lot of comments from parents I've worked with over the years who have told me how much they've learned kind of vicariously through their children's assignments and projects and things like that. That's really a beautiful thing. You know, if you're teaching ritual, if you're teaching, you to use Pesach as the example, if you're teaching things that the students can bring home and say at the Seder or wherever they are with their families, and the parents can benefit from that as well, well, that's a great thing. And again, if the parents are invested in this process, they're going to make sure that their students are taking this seriously as well, that their children are taking it seriously. And this is a great thing. I've even worked with one or two Hebrew school programs over the years that have actually done separate classes, adult education classes for the parents. What they did was they actually ran a parallel program once a week. I did one of them online with a specific school where the parents actually learned what their children learned earlier in the week. The idea being that at the Shabbat table at the end of the week, they were able to talk to their children and review the materials together. And the program started off with about 8 parents enrolled, and by the time we were finished, there were over 40 parents participating. So it really, the parental knowledge is really a beautiful thing, and if you can encourage this in any which way, then it's a great benefit. It's also, we'll flip for a second. We work very hard. Every teacher puts in countless hours of preparation time, of class time to make sure that your lessons, that your materials, that your educational program is 100% and as effective as possible. And these are the things that a lot of times the parents don't see and quite frankly don't even realize. So, while we want to get the parents involved too, and it's important to see from their side, it's also important to be able to show the parents how hard we're working. Because when they see that, sometimes it helps to give them a new appreciation for what goes into the educational process. And by updating the parents regularly about your classroom projects, about your lesson plans, whatever you're doing, shows the parents how hard you're working. And it shows them again that this is not just an easy 1, 2, 3 project, that time, effort, and energy are really going into making sure that their children are receiving the best education possible. And finally, just an obvious one, we've spoken about it before, involving the parents eliminates a lot of the excuses and arguments. If the students know that the parents are in the loop, then when it comes to things like homework and projects and quizzes and grades and all the paperwork items, it's very difficult for the students at that point to claim ignorance or to say, oh, I didn't know I had to do this. Because again, the information is being presented not just to the students, but is bringing the parents in as well. So these are just some of the ideas of why it is a positive thing to involve parents. Again, obviously every group of parents is different. You have to know your community and you have to know what your parents are able to deal with and what they're able to take. But in general, if you can involve the parents, it'll only go to help you later on. Now, how can we involve the parents? What are some ways that we can bring them into the fold? Well, the first we've spoken about, the LMS platforms, things like Schoology, Edmodo, Moodle. These are the platforms we looked at several weeks back. If you're using these platforms, or you have an option to use these platforms, then these tools instantly inform the parents of the everyday items that are going on in your classroom. When you're assigning homework, when you're scheduling a quiz, when you're giving out a project, if you're entering it into the LMS and the parents are accessing this, well, that's probably the quickest and easiest way. But there are also some other tools that have become very popular, especially for parental and community involvement. We're going to take a look at a couple of these tools in depth today. We're not going to look at all of them just because of time, but I'm going to show you 2 or 3 new ideas. The first is the idea of blogging. Blogs are something, I don't know if any of you are regular blog readers or blog writers, but blogs basically enable any person, and we're going to take a look later at how to do this, any person without a technical background to be able to share comments, opinions, outlooks, whatever it is, online with an online community. And a lot of teachers and students, for that matter, have taken to using blogging as a way of promoting communication, because this is something that can be accessed by the parents, by the students, by anybody at any given time. The next idea for involvement are video journals and YouTube channels. We're going to take a look. We've looked at some of the resources available on YouTube in previous weeks, but we're also going to take a look at how we can add to the YouTube library and the YouTube resources. Almost all of our computers, especially if we're using a laptop nowadays, it comes standard with a webcam. They're built in. So we have this great piece of technology available, and even if we don't have it built in, if you go to Staples or Office Max or any of these stores, you can purchase a webcam for under $25. They're very cheap now. And we can actually use them to very easily to do kind of what I'm doing for you guys, to create a video journal. There are teachers who every week or every few days, they'll post a thought, they'll post an idea, and maybe the students will have a homework assignment attached to it. Maybe it'll just be something that they want to share. It's really up to the teacher, but again, it's a great way of promoting involvement, especially now. If you think about how people watch videos online, they don't even need to be in front of a computer to watch it. Everybody's walking around with smartphones and iPads and all these other tools, and if you record videos, then these tools are available right then and there. The next thing is online photo libraries. This is an oldie but goodie, but if you're doing projects in your classes, especially before the holidays, Purim, Pesach, things like that, parents love photos and videos. So use one of the tools out there, whether it's Picasa, whether it's PhotoShare, doesn't really matter what you use, but use the tools to share the photos of your class. The parents love to see them. They get a lot of pride and benefit out of seeing their kids involved in class activities. And with all of the tools that are available, it's a relatively easy thing to do. So this is an easy one. And finally, we've spoken about some of these ideas in the past, but using social media, using Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as, like I said before, YouTube and some of the other social media tools to let people know what's happening in your classroom. So these are just some ideas. We're not going to take a look at all of these in depth, but just to get you to start thinking about how you may expand your parental community. Okay, so let's talk about blogging. What is a blog? A blog is a website that contains an online personal journal with reflections, comments, and often hyperlinks provided by the writer. In English, it's a place for it's a place for the writer to write what's on your mind. I have a blog. I'll show you later on. There are literally thousands and thousands of blogs out there on just about any topic you can imagine. Blogs can be used to easily share information quickly and efficiently. Why? Because you don't need to be a web design expert or an HTML expert in order to create a blog. When websites started, when people started having their own websites, there was a need to be able to do at least some basic programming, some basic coding in HTML, which is the language that's used to create simple websites. There are so many great free tools out there that you really don't need any type of technical skill whatsoever. You really just need to be able to open up your internet browser, to go to one of the free sites, register as a user, and get started. So I'll show you some examples, but one of the reasons blogging has become so popular with teachers and even students for that matter is because of its simplicity, because of how easy it is. Okay, so here are some examples. I'm not going to show you all of these, but I will show you a couple of examples, and you can start to get an idea of how other teachers are using the idea of blogs to enhance and to expand their educational communities. Okay, the first example we'll look at is from Mr. BG's English blog. This is, as it says, Tales from a High School English and Journalism Teacher. Now, if you look at the page itself, and again, you have the URL, so you can scroll through. This teacher basically shares what's on his mind. You can see he has some videos, he has some guest posts that he did, he has some links that he shares with his students. Basically, whatever is coming to his mind. And up here, he's created some links for English resources, for journalism, and so on and so forth. We can see, if we look at the web address for this blog, we can see that it's bgenglish.blogspot. Blogspot is one of those free providers of blog providers that I mentioned earlier. I'll show you later how easy it is to set something like this up, but basically all this teacher did was opened up a Blogspot account and started writing. What you see here where the title is and the links, this is an existing template that he chose from the template library, and all he had to do was click, 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 and he was ready to go. So this is one example. Here's another example. This is Mr. Avery's class blog. You can see if you look at the web address here, it's edublogs.org. Again, Edublog is just another blog site. And you can see it's kind of the same idea. This teacher has some videos, has some text, posts things that are on his mind that the students can look at and can share. He has some other links here. His pictures, like I said before, he shares his pictures directly through his blog, which is also an easy option. He has his projects. So this is actually a pretty well built up blog. But again, you don't need to have any, what I want to emphasize, you don't need to have any web programming skills at all to be able to do this. It's very easy and very simple. So again, this is something that Mr. Avery's parents and school community can access at any time. Here is a great blog, actually for teachers. It's called the Cool Cat Teacher Blog, teaching students with new tools, enthusiasm, and belief that teaching is a noble calling. Basically, this blog contains postings from teachers and gives all sorts of educational tips and things you can do with your students. If you remember way back to one of our first lessons, we talked about online educational communities. And this is actually one of those communities. You may recognize the name Vicki Davis from being one of the online community people that we looked at earlier. But you can see the different tabs that she has. And again, this was very easily set up and very, very simple to put together. Here's another blog. This one is actually a Jewish educational blog from the Kohelet Foundation. The Kohelet Foundation is based in Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia area. And you can see the types of posts they have: thoughts from a digital immigrant, technology in the classroom, different projects that are going on in some of their schools. So again, a member of the school community, a parent, a lay leader can come here anytime and know what's going on within this foundation. What is this foundation supporting? What do they think is important to promote? And finally, I'll show you one more. This is a blog called Science Fix. And this is obviously from a science teacher. He shares some really cool YouTube videos and gives explanations. And this is something that I was reading a little bit more about this. He actually can use these exercises with his parents and with his students to kind of reinforce what's going on in the classroom. So again, this probably takes him about 5 minutes a post to churn out. All he has to do is copy and paste the YouTube link from YouTube.com, and he's ready to go. And you can see some of his different tabs up here. Again, this is all from a template. He didn't design any of this. All he had to do was click, 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 and choose what he wanted. So you can see how, I'll show you in a few minutes, how simple it is to get started. So obviously there are thousands and thousands of other examples. You can take a look at some other ones yourself. If you go into Google and you simply search for a science blog or a school blog, anything education related, you'll get literally thousands of hits that will come up. So these are just some of the examples. Now, how do you get started? If you wanted to create your own blog, like I said to you before, there are a lot of free blog hosting sites. Basically, you choose one, you go in, you create an account, and you get started. There are probably 20 or 30 blog hosting sites that I could tell you about, but today I just wanted to bring your attention to probably the three most popular in the world of education. One of them is blogger.com, the second one is edublogs, and the third one you may have heard of is wordpress.com. And what's nice about all three of them, like I've said several times, you don't need to be a computer expert in order to use them. So again, I'm not going to show you all of these, but I'm going to show you one or two just so you can see how simple it is. Let's start with edublogs.org. Okay, here we are at edublogs. Again, you can see they keep a running tab of how many blogs that they're powering. So they're at over 1 million right now, 1.6 million blogs. You can read a little bit about who's using them and what they do, but what you would need is this link down here, get your free blog now. So let's click on it. Okay, very quickly, I am going to enter my username that I want. I'm going to do this very quickly. And I'll give them an email address that I don't usually use. They're very specific about capital letters, so make sure that when you put in your information, you keep it all lowercase. We'll call this educational technology, and I'll register as a teacher. I agree, and start blogging. Now, this thing that pops up, a lot of websites are using it now. They just want to make sure that this isn't spam, so they're going to give you a little test to do. If you get this, it's completely okay. You can see I passed. And I'm ready. Congratulations, your new blog, Educational Technology, has been created. Here's my URL. You can see my username and password. So we're ready to start. We're going to log into our new blog. I'm going to put in the username and password that I chose before. And here we go. Here I am at my dashboard. Now, through the dashboard, I can get started right away. I can change my user information. I can give myself an image if I want. But what's most important here are these links here. If I want to do a new post, all I have to do is add new, and I can get started. And we'll put a quick message here. Welcome to my new blog. Now look, I did this without doing any HTML. I'm going to press publish. And then we can actually go to the page. We're going to do view post. And here's my blog. And it's ready to go. Anybody who I would give this address to, ryeeisenberg.edublogs.org, would be able to access my information. So that's just a very basic example, but you can see how simple it was to start my blogging process. I'll show you one other free example of a free tool. Let's go to blogger.com. And I actually have an account here already, so I'm not going to sign out and create a new account, but I'll still show you how simple it is to get started. Now, one thing nice about Blogger.com, in addition to creating your own blogs, you can see there's a button here, we can do new blog, which we'll do in a second. We can also keep track of other blogs. We can add and search for other blogs that are out there, blogs that we want to keep track of and blogs that we want to follow. So if we come across something interesting and we just want to be updated every time they come out with a new posting, we can do that as well. But in Blogger.com as well, there's a button here for new blog, and we can give it a title. Call it Educational Tech. And again, I have to come up with an address. So let's do BB Ice. And I'm just choosing this because I know it doesn't exist. And I can choose a template, and I can always change my template later. But let's choose picture window for right now. And create blog. Okay, Educational Tech was created successfully, so I can start posting. And again, you see how easy this is. You see how simple it is. No skills required. Let's give this a title. We'll say again, welcome. These little boxes that pop up are just giving you little tips that you can read or dismiss. It's up to you. And welcome to my blog. Now, I didn't show you before, but I'll show you here. Let's say we want to add a picture. Well, they make it very simple. You can see there's an icon here that says Insert Image. So we'll click that. And I can choose from where I want to get the image from. I'm going to upload from my computer. So I'll go to my Pictures folder. And again, this is just what's on my computer. And I'll find Bonim Biyachad's logo. It'll upload it for us, and even when you're using the free version, they give you a lot of storage space. So even if you want to upload things that you're not going to use right now, you can do that and save them for later. So we'll add our selected image, and there it is. And you can see I can even work with it. I can justify it. I can change the size. I can do whatever I want. Again, when I'm done, I can press publish. And if you go to my blog right now, let's go to view. You can see the blog opened, bbreice.blogspot.co.il, opened up in a new tab, and there's my posting. So 1, 2, 3, easy to do. And again, everything here can be as customized as you want it to be. So this is the idea of blogging. Let's go back now to our presentation. The process is very simple, and you can see how easy it is, how simple it is to add new materials, to share with your community, and to involve people. And I've seen from other schools and other groups that I've worked with, the parents really like to be part of these types of projects, because for them, again, especially with all the mobile devices like phones and iPads, it's very easy for them. And when their child is in a picture, or when their child is mentioned as being the person involved in the project, they're going to post it and send it on to other people, and they're going to be happy. So again, just a great way to keep people informed about what you're doing, so your efforts stand out, and also to be able to involve your community as well. Okay, so just a couple of blog facts, things that would help you get started. First of all, it is only a blog if you post regularly, and this is one of the big arguments in the blogging community. What's considered regularly? Well, there are a lot of schools of thoughts. Some people will tell you that in order to be considered a blog, it has to be you have to have daily posts. I don't know that that's so true anymore. I think, though, that if you have a blog, especially that you're sharing with your outside community, like your parents, you want to make sure that you post, and it can be a very short post. It could be a shared link or a shared picture or a YouTube video, probably at least 1 to 2 times per week. Because if it's not at least that often, then it just becomes kind of static and it becomes irrelevant. You want your blog to always be in people's minds and to be something that they are looking to check on a regular basis. And the only way that's going to happen is if you regularly share information. Second, the online communities are full of great information. Sharing a blog post from another site is no problem as long as you give credit. For those of you who are Facebook users, you probably do this all the time. When you see something that somebody else posts, you click share, and it goes onto your timeline. So blogging is similar. If you read something online, whether it's an article from the New York Times or an article from another blog or a YouTube video, you are more than welcome to post it as a link or as an image on your own blog. And this is a great way of alleviating you from having to actually create new material every time. You may just write, thought this was interesting, wanted to share, and click the link, and there you have it. Just as long as you give credit, that's perfectly okay. You can also use other social media tools such as Facebook to promote your blog posts, and this is a big one. If you have a class blog for Mr. Avery's English class, for example, Mr. Avery, every time he posts a new blog entry, he can set it up through any of the sites I showed you, both Blogger and EduBlogs. You can set it up to automatically post to your Facebook feed as well, so that way your Facebook community will see that you posted a new blog. And people can read it and share it and so on and so forth. And this helps you to be able to expand your online community. And the other nice thing about blogging is, and one of the things that even I sometimes forget to do, but it's a great thing when it works well, is to ask questions in your posts and allow your readers to post responses. If you can establish your blog as a real online community, if you ask an educational question or how do you feel question, or it'll really help to expand and create a virtual type of community. In fact, you can even give assignments like this for homework. If you have a class blog, you may ask a thought question every week. And as part of their homework, you may ask the students to post a response. And you'll see, as time goes on, you'll actually start to become more of a moderator than the actual creator, because the students will be doing most of the posting for you. So these are just some helpful blog tips to help you get started. Okay. Again, the idea here's just a quick visual. Here's the blog. You may or may not have your own website, but you can see what's happening. The blog is taking materials from all of these other places. The blog is taking materials from YouTube and from Facebook and from other links that we have. And that's the idea behind a blog. It's to establish a shared community. It's to establish dialogue. If you're doing an interesting project, if you see an interesting project, if there's an idea that you want to promote, even before a holiday, if you want to just be able to share resources with your parent community, something you found online for counting Sfirat HaOmer, for example, that you feel would be helpful for everybody to know, or if it's before Yom HaZikaron and you want to share some online stories of soldiers who have given their lives to the state of Israel, by just putting these as links on your blog site, you're able to help people easily reach materials that they may not have been able to reach. Okay. In addition to blogging, there's another kind of slant that you can take on this, and that's video journals and YouTube channels. It's the same basic idea, but instead of writing a blog entry, it enables you to actually create a blog entry with your webcam, similar to the way I'm talking to you right now. And sometimes video blogs and video journals will be part of existing blogs. In other words, if Mr. Avery set up his class blog, he may choose some weeks to do a video posting rather than a text posting. There are also people that do exclusively videos because they're more comfortable in that media. They'd rather not have to sit down and write something every week or every day. They rather just talk like I'm talking now. So videos, as we know, can be great teaching tools. We know from our previous lessons that there is a lot of material already available. These materials can be added, like I said, to your own blog posts. With webcams available on almost every communications device, creating your own video journals is easy. Similar to written blogs, video journals represent your reflections and opinions. It could be just something that you turn on your webcam and for 5 minutes every week, you give a reflection on the week's current events, or you talk about something that happened in your classroom. It could really be anything you want it to be. But again, it's the same idea as a written blog. It's just a different style, a different medium. Here are some examples, and again, I'll show you one or two, and you can search for others on your own as well. Okay, here's an interesting example. This is the animoto.com blog. And what this user actually does is she combines written with video links. And you can see here that there are a lot of embedded videos that she's added. And she works, if you look back at some of her old postings, she does a lot of straight videos and a lot of also combination text/video posts as well. Here is probably one of the most famous educational video blogs out there. This is from the Boston area. It's called Project Dropout. And basically what it is it's, you can read through it. It's very, very interesting. It's a combination. There are some written blogs here as well, but the bulk of this is video diaries given by students as to what life is like after they ended their formal education. And you can see some of the titles: Failing to Graduate, Job Corps. There's some really interesting content here, but this is almost exclusively all video format. So this is another great example to look at. This is projectdropout.org. Now, most of you who know me by now know how much I love YouTube resources, and YouTube is probably the most popular video blog hosting site out there because most people who are working with video have an easy time posting videos to YouTube. Again, an absolutely free service. So here's just one example of Dr. Kennedy's video blog. Dr. Kennedy is a high school finance and math teacher, and I was watching through. You can see each video he does is usually between 7 and 8 minutes long. He keeps it short and to the point, but the information that he shares is really quite excellent, and it's a lot. When you're looking at something like finance, which can be a very dry subject, Dr. Kennedy really has gone a long way to make the subjects interactive and interesting for his students. Now, here we are on YouTube, and we've searched for videos before, but just to show you an example, we can search for just about any type of blog content. So I just did a search for science blogs, and you can see what's available, some of the titles: Impact That Matters, Educator.com, Learn Chemistry Online, Staying Current, etc. And you can do this for just about any school subject that you want. Here's one for history, a search for history that I did. We can even do Jewish. And especially the time of year we're in now, there are a lot of great resources that come up. When we talk about video blogs, there are a lot of great things you can do, either on your own or with the resources that are out there already. Okay. Now, we also have YouTube, to continue with the YouTube praise. YouTube, in addition to having a large selection of blogs out there, video blogs, YouTube also features a lot of education-dedicated channels. Now, what's an educational channel? Well, we know that YouTube has a lot of great videos on it, but what happens is a user, you or I for that matter, can go in and we can create our own channel. So let's say we have a collection of science videos or Jewish history videos that we want to share. We can create a channel called Jewish History Online or something like that. And these are dedicated channels where all of our videos are stored together so that a user could come in and easily be able to navigate through the materials. So if we do a search in YouTube for education channels, we'll see some of the examples that come up, and I'll show you in 1 minute. Vimeo is another great resource with a lot of great postings. Vimeo is a newer video sharing site that's popped up over the last couple of years. It's very similar to YouTube, but what makes Vimeo special, for those of you who have high definition HD computers or televisions, Vimeo content is posted in HD. So it's really the same idea as YouTube, but a little bit higher quality. And you can use that as a video search as well. Just keep in mind, Vimeo does not screen for content the same way YouTube does. So make sure that you carefully preview all of the materials that you find. I'm not going to show you right now just because of time, but Vimeo is a great resource. But if you start searching there, you may see some keywords that pop up that you may find questionable choices to share with your class. So as we've said before, whether YouTube or Vimeo, but especially Vimeo, make sure you always do the searching and the pre-screening before you assign anything to your students. Okay, let's take a look. Let's just go back to YouTube and we'll take a look at some of the education channels that you can find. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do a search for education channels. And you can see some of the topics that pop up. Here's SAGU Online University. We have Khan Academy, which I'm sure you've heard of, which contains over almost 3,500 videos. TED Ed is a great resource, 264 videos. Here is some PBS material, the Idea channel. They have Edutopia here, which is a great resource. Google and Education. You can scroll through these yourself, but you can see what's out there. And these are all channels. And if you click, let's just click, for example, YouTube Teachers. You'll see that you have all sorts of resources available to you that you can scroll through and that you can click on and you can navigate. They split it up into categories, classroom videos, suggest videos, etc. It's a great resource, and this world of online video blogs or video channels can really enhance the way you share information and enhance your classroom communication. Okay. Again, I know that everybody's familiar with YouTube when it comes to hosting your own video blogs. YouTube is probably the most popular, but the same way we had sites that we can host a regular blog, we looked at EduBlog and Blogger together. There are also sites that for free can be used to host video blogs. Videopress.com, Brightcove.com are probably the two most popular in addition to YouTube. So, if you're going to try this out, if you have a YouTube account, which, by the way, if you have Gmail, you automatically have a YouTube account. You can use the same login. You can use that, or you can use one of the other free services available. Okay, so this week we spoke a lot about different ways, blogging, video libraries, pictures, different ways that we can enhance that communication with the parents. Your mission for this week is to do the following. I want you to choose only one of the following options. Don't try to do all three. I don't want anybody coming back to me later and saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe he gave us so much work to do." That's not my intention. Just choose one of these three options. Option number one, select one of the blog hosting options and create a blog for your class or subject. Write the first post and send me an email with the URL or the link to that blog. What does that mean? That means you'll go to WordPress or Blogger or EduBlogs or one of the other blog sites that you find. You'll create a blog like we did in the video for one of either a class that you teach or just a general subject that you teach. And you'll set it up. You'll choose your template. You'll choose your blog name. And you'll do your first posting. It may be welcome. It may be something that you want to share. And then once you have it set up, just send me an email with the link. And I'll go take a look. That's option number one. Option number two. Using your computer's webcam, record the first webisode of your video journal. Post it to YouTube or to one of the other sites and send me the link. So for those of you who have webcams on your computer, you can try this. It's a lot of fun. If you're not shy and you don't mind talking, this doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to share this with anybody else, but you can set up a video blog, and this term webisode is the term that's been coined to each posting. Every time that you do a new recording, that's called a new webisode. Play on episode, obviously. So that's option number two. Option number three, using the LMS account that you created earlier in this program, create a blog through your LMS platform. Send me the link to join. Now, this is a little interesting. I didn't show you this specifically But if you remember back several weeks ago, most of you created accounts in Edmodo or Schoology or one of the other LMS platforms. And most of those LMS platforms give you an option to create a blog and incorporate it or attach it into your class page. So if you'd like to try something a little bit new, go back to that account that you created, open up the class page, and create a blog through there, and that's fine as well. And then, just like the other examples, just send me a link or an invitation so I can view and join that blog. So these are the three options. Obviously, if anybody has any questions or needs any help, you can feel free to contact me at any time. I'll look forward to seeing the creations as always. Like I always say, I don't want this to take hours and hours of time. Something like this to do should probably take you between 30 and 60 minutes to set up during the course of the week. What's nice about these online blogging sites and all this work is you don't have to do this in one sitting. You could one day set up your account, then the next day come back and choose your template, and then the next day come back and actually write the post. You can work whenever it's good for you to work. Remember, all of this material, the video and the PowerPoint, which I used in today's presentation, is available on our class website. And again, I am here if you have any questions. Okay, in this week's lesson, we talked about ways that we can promote better communication with our parental community. We looked at how to create a class blog, and we also looked at how to create a class video blog or video diary. In addition, we mentioned some other possibilities as well, like social media use, photo and image sharing, and other things that you can do to promote better communication between you and your students and your parents. Look forward to receiving your materials this week. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.